Alright, so let's output the history items down here. So the history items are being stored in the state right here. How do we access the state from a different page? Well, it's actually quite simple. Underneath use dispatch on the home screen, I'm going to say const history equals use selector. Now use selector is an object which you can import from React Redux. So this function will essentially allow you to access the state. So it takes a function as a parameter and it takes a state variable, and then you just return whatever you want from this object. So this can either be a function where you do some stuff first and then you return a value, so then you can return something down here, or you can just return something directly like we're going to do. We're just going to return state.history.items. So this .history comes from the store. Whatever you've called it here is what you want to put there. So I called it history, and then of course the history slice has this items property that we want to return. So I will save that, and then we've got the history object now that contains all the history results. If I scroll down, let's use that. We should have a section at the bottom, the history container, and in there we're going to put a flat list. So a flat list, remember, is just a way to output some dynamic data. So I'll create that flat list, and the data is just going to be history, and then we're going to have a render item function, which is just a function like that. So this is a very similar thing that we did in the supported languages page, where we outputted all the languages that we have. So all we're going to do is return, and then for now I'll just return a text element, just so we can see something. Hi. We might see a bunch of errors because there's no key set, but just bear with me for a second. We need to import flat list. So import flat list from React Native and give it a save. And now, hello. Oops. Press the button. We see hi there. If I type something else, what time is it? Press that, should see another hi. So we've essentially got one hi for each of the history items that we have. And it's logging it to the console, so I'll go back to history slice and remove that log. We don't need that anymore. That was just so we could see the history. Cool, so we just want to style this now. Cool, so we just want to output a proper element now. So this render item function will take an item data parameter. We're going to actually create our own element here, just like we did with the supported language items. So I'll go back to my file explorer. I'll go down to, in the components folder, we have this language item. I'm going to create a new file, and this will be translation result.js. And what I'm going to do is copy that whole language item file, because it's going to be pretty similar, and paste it there. So let me go to this this file. Let me close down that file explorer, and I'll make the terminal a bit smaller. So what do we want to do in here? Well, first we need to rename this from language item to translation result. It's also not going to be touchable, so we'll just set it to view. It's not going to be something we can tap and do something with. It's just going to be visual. You could, if you want to, maybe you want to set it so that when you press it, it will submit the same text again, but we'll just leave it as that for now. So we'll keep style container. We don't need non-press anymore because it's no longer touchable, like I said. So I'll get rid of that, and I can move that style onto that line now because there's only one line. We don't need an icon container at all. Let me think. No, we don't need an icon container. But what we will use is text container. So instead of icon, I'll just rename this to text container. And I'll scroll down to our style, rename this to text container. And then I'll style this shortly. We'll get rid of all this totally, all that icon there. We don't need that. But we will create a text element in there, which for now I'll just put some item. We'll come back and add this value soon. And what I'll also do is style this. I'll say style equals styles.title. So I'll go and add that text block here, like this. I'll also add another one underneath for subtitle while I'm here, and then we'll do the same thing for the line below. So what I'm going to do is I've created this subtitle text block. I'll scroll up, and I'm going to duplicate this text line here. And I'll put subtitle just so I can see the text difference, and I'll change this style to subtitle. I'm also going to make it so that this has a maximum of 4 lines before it truncates it. So number of lines equals 4. So that's how many lines we can do before it renders a ... and stops showing anymore. So number of lines 4, and I'll do the same for this text block, like this. Paste that in there. Cool. There's just one more thing to do, and that's to get rid of this part at the bottom. And of course, we can also get rid of the text block that came with it, because we don't need that style anymore. And then we're going to just add a touchable opacity. So import touchable opacity from React Native at the top there. And in there, we're just going to put an icon. And this icon will be a star, because this is the star button to make it so you can save this translation. So if I just search for star, oops, get rid of the feather filter. I like the one from ntypo, so I can use this one. So I'll copy that ntypo import. We don't need the feather one that was already there, so replace that with the ntypo one. And then I can take this and just, put that in the touchable opacity element, like that. So we'll come back and change the color shortly, and we'll also do the on-press shortly, but I will update the style. This will be style equals styles.icon container. And I think actually we removed this style earlier on. We actually had this, we changed it from text container. So what I'll do is I'll save that, we'll output this element, and then I can fix these styles just so we can see something. So I'll go back to home.js. I'm close some of these tabs down, I've got too many open here. Home screen.js. Instead of outputting text here, I'm going to output translation result. So that will add the import. And yeah, I think that's it for now. Let me save that. Okay, we got can't find variable translation result. What did I do wrong? Oh, I think I just need to refresh my app actually. Let me reload the whole app and it will work. So yeah, I think we're good. So if I type something in, hello, oops, need to press the submit button. We get this item here. Pretty cool. So let's add some style now. So in the translation result file, we'll do the container. So we'll keep the padding horizontal as it is, but we'll change the padding vertical to 20. Flex direction can stay as row. Background color we'll set to white. Oops, background color is going to be white. White. We'll keep the border bottom color as light gray. That's fine. Let me save that. So it looks like looks pretty cool. But I'm going to change the border bottom color to be a little bit thinner. I'll set that to 0.5. So it's a bit of a thinner border. And let me add a second one as well. You guys. Okay, cool. So now we've got 2. And I realized we don't just want a border on the bottom, we want a border all the way around. So I'm actually just going to change border bottom width to just border width. And border bottom color will just be border color. So if I save that, it should give the whole thing a bit of a border. But it's a bit thicker on the where it meets the other item because they've both got a 0.5. So I'll say border top width is going to be 0, like that. Cool. Text container, we're just going to set this as flex 1, and then margin right is going to be, let's just say 8. Like that. So the text item, the text container takes all of the available space and there's a bit of a margin there. You won't be able to see unless some text is pressed right up against the edge, but there's a bit of a gap there between that and the icon. We're going to style the title, which we can say font family is going to be medium. Letter spacing is going to be 0.3. And then finally, color is going to be colors.text color, like that. Give that a save. It should go a bit more bold than the subtitle. And then the subtitle text, I can copy that kind of. So I'll copy all of that and I'll paste it in there. And this won't be medium, it'll be regular. We'll keep letter spacing 0.3. But the color isn't going to be text color. We need to create a new one. So I'll open up the colors folder and we're going to create a subtext color. So we'll say subtext color and we'll just set that to 5F6368. All right, so there's our subtext color. and I'll go back and use that. Oh, where are we? Translation result. So instead of text color on the subtitle, it's going to be subtext color. Give that a save, and it should go a little bit lighter. All right, then we also need to style the icon container. Oops. So icon container. So we can say width is going to be 30. And then finally just center it with justify content, center, and then finally align items center. Align items center. Give that a save. Should go in the center, and we should be good to go. So the star shouldn't be black though, so let's scroll up here and change the color to that new subtext color. So colors dot oops, I spelled colors wrong. Colors dot subtext color, like that. Okay, is that everything? Yep, I think that's it.